Hey everybody, welcome back to Leosophy. I haven't shaved in like 2 years and I feel like I'm 10 years old. Yeah. So this is part two of the divination series. So I thought I would discuss the I Ching because that's a form of divination that I've always found interesting. Basically what the I Ching is it's a book with a series of trigrams. And these trigrams are just combinations of broken and open lines. And if you want to see a good example of what these trigrams look like, look no further than the South Korean flag because it actually has a bagua, which is an 8-sided symbol made of those exact trigrams. If you look at the Korean flag, you'll notice that there's broken and open lines, different combinations. That's what the I Ching is. And so what you do is you flip a coin, and depending on what side of the coin, and then there's special coins that expressly are for this divination, but you can use any coin really. And one side will represent an open line, and one side, or a broken line rather, and one will represent a solid line. And once you get a set number of these, you have a trigram. And this trigram is referenced in whatever number trigram it is in the book. There are 72, I think, total. And then you get a reading from that, whatever that trigram corresponds to. It's really interesting. And Alan Watts compared it to a computer because it's binary. You know, instead of ones and zeros, it's broken lines and whole lines. So it's a really, really interesting form of divination, and it's the only one that I actually will use. Now, do I take it seriously? I'm not really sure, but it is something that's fun to do, and I think it's a little more elaborate and complicated than just flipping a coin and seeing heads or tails what you should do. But more interestingly, and again, I'm no expert on divination, but it's something that I've found fascinating because you find it throughout every culture and religion. But what shocks me about the I Ching, and I can't speak to this for any other person, I'm sure that different people have had different experiences with it, but I'm always shocked at how specific any reading I do from the I Ching is. I mean, it really... I mean, I can do something about, like, should I travel to this place or not? And the trigram will be something on par with, don't make any kind of travel arrangements. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I asked, and that's the answer I got. Things like that. It's very interesting. And of course, it has a huge cultural connection to Taoism. And I would argue, in many respects, that while the I Ching itself is not a Taoist construct, the notion of a duality that's not good and evil type duality, but just a duality to the overlying fundamental structure of the universe, and the notion that different balances of these two dual natures can correspond to a specific kind of understanding of insert concept here. I think that there's something inherently more Taoist about the I Ching than pretty much any other Chinese worldview. And obviously that would extend to Buddhism, because Buddhism is really Indian, and it's pretty far, philosophically speaking, from anything that the I Ching would represent. So I just find it all very interesting, and I encourage you. There are actual online I Ching websites where you can experiment and play around with it and get a reading in like 5 minutes. I don't recommend you take it too seriously, but I do think it's something worth analyzing, just on the grounds of the fact that it's both a novel and interesting way of finding answers to questions that maybe even ignoring the woo-woo component to it, at the very least, while you're rolling those digital coins, in this case, flipping these digital coins, at the very least, you kind of understand what answer you want. And sometimes that's just the nudge we need to make a decision, is knowing what we really want rather than what we think we want. So that's all I got this time. Like, share, subscribe, keep asking questions. Bye.